Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, before we say anything, Clubbo! Clubbo! Now I know a lot of people, this is a soccer thing or football thing for those, that wait only on boxing, but you gotta say it. Jurgen Klopp, the trainer of Liverpool in England, won the title. They still got 7 games to play, and he's won the title with Liverpool. It's been about 20 or 30 years since Liverpool has won anything like that, the Premier League. And the Premier League, this is legendary. This is definitely huge because the Premier League is probably the only league in Europe that has about 6 or 7 teams who could possibly win at the beginning of the season. Give you an example. In the German Bundesliga, one team has won 8 in a row, and they win them all. Bayern Munich, they win them all. Sometimes somebody maybe, can be close, like the Borussia Dortmund, or maybe 10 years ago, Wolfsburg, something like that. But it's going to be Bayern, right? In Spain, right now, you've got a race between who is going to be in Spain? FC Barcelona, Real Madrid. It's going to be like that. Over there in France, it's going to be PSG. They got the most money right now. It's just, those teams. Now, in Italy, you might have between Juventus, because Ronaldo's over there, Juventus and AC Milan and Inter Milan. They got about 3 teams that's, going to be close. But England has a lot. You got the Chelsea, you got Manchester United, you got Arsenal, and all of that popping off, right? Manchester City. So Liverpool is not necessarily the best team, and we know that. So for him to win the Premier League is huge, and that's after winning the Champions League with Liverpool, the Champions League, which is even, I would like to say, more awesome, and to go to the final with Liverpool. Now you top that off with him going to the final of the Champions League with Borussia Dortmund from Germany, and winning the German league with Dortmund. And anybody that wins the German league that's not Bayern Munich is awesome. So this coach, this trainer right now, is a legend now, period. Jurgen Klopp, remember the name. It's awesome. I probably do a video only on that because that's how awesome that is. I don't want to get into it too far, but that's just ridiculous. You have to mention that even though we ain't talking about no damn soccer right here, period. Now, to the boxing thing. Now, boxing is unfortunately corrupt. It's corrupt as hell. That's why we got stuff to talk about all the damn time, right? Right now, we're going to talk about Canelo Alvarez. He's supposed to be slated to fight in September the 16th. They're very close to getting that fight on September the 16th. His promoter is saying. And, that's their date. It's like we got Cinco de Mayo and we got the September the 16th date, or it's always around that date. And let me just read what his promoter is saying. This is Oscar De La Hoya. He said, I want to create another holiday for boxing, said De La Hoya to Ring TV. We started with Cinco de Mayo, which became the date for the sport, right? We're looking forward to it, right? And then you have September the 16th also. So we're looking forward to it with a fight which we're still working on. It's exhilarating, and we're close to getting a deal done. So they're trying that September the 16th date, and they're looking into Nevada, they're looking into Texas, and somewhere else, right? So you're looking at that, and you're saying to yourself, this is why I always talk about the real great boxers that are there right now that we have, but we treat them like Bigfoot, like they don't exist. And I always talk about Demetrius Andrade because here, what De La Hoya said is how important the September date is. It's Mexican holiday again. You have Cinco de Mayo, and you want to create another holiday. Well, last year, on September 14th, it wasn't 16th, right around there, that was supposed to be the next fight. And here, that's why I always keep complaining about it. It would have been an undisputed fight on September the 14th, wherever Canelo wanted, and that would have been against Demetrius Andrade, to have all of the belts. And no one mentioned it. And I was saying, well, what are we sitting here waiting for um, Kovalev versus Anthony Yarde fight to finish, and then we're negotiating and they have a fight sometime in November. Why did we look away from the September date? Because it's important. And you made it even monumental by having an undisputed fight. But Demetrius Andrade was the problem. No one wants that WBO belt, no matter what. No one wants that WBO belt, right? And I'm just going to focus on Demetrius Andrade for a minute. I think this is probably unprecedented. I'm saying probably because I haven't researched it. But I do know, and you're hard pressed to find out, a champion where first the other champions are not trying to get that belt, right? The other champions, if it's Canelo or Gennady Golovkin, they're not trying to get that belt for a long time, not just recently. For a long time, Demetrius Andrade has been champion since 2013 in 154 and 160. Didn't want to get it. But not only that, do the champions have a problem? And I didn't mention Charlo on purpose because he just became champion because Canelo got elevated to franchise champion and Charlo was his mandatory. But I mentioned him yet. These guys, Canelo and John Golovkin, have been champions for a while, and Demetrius Andrade as well, right? But not only that, Demetrius Andrade mandatory is Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia as the mandatory, and I always say mandatory is the loudest people in boxing. He doesn't want to take that fight. He's like, I'm whatever. I'm a mandatory, but I'm not trying to fight him. If he's the champion, well, we got to do something else. Now, here's where it gets even worse. Jaime Munguia is one of the guys that Canelo Alvarez is trying to fight on September the 16th. Okay, he's one of the guys mentioned. It's not no Demetrius Andrade or Charlo. They're looking to fight in Texas, and without looking at Jamal Charlo, who's from Texas, has a twin brother, Jamel Charlo. It's a huge story. These are awesome fighters, and he was your mandatory. And we're looking with someone else. And this is why I don't really like to watch any Canelo fights or Gennady Golovkin fights live, as much as awesome as they are, because of people that know this stuff. The people in boxing know this stuff. Why hasn't one of these debate shows invited Demetrius Andrade on the show and just stated before he comes out, hey, the guy in boxing that's probably the most, avoided. We've never seen a champion where his mandatory doesn't even want to fight him, and neither do any of the champions to unify the division. This is the reason why this guy has been doing this for about 7 years. Let's invite him and introduce America to him. By the way, he speaks English because he's American. That's probably another reason why he can't be on TV, because he speaks English and we don't have to use subtitles and interpreters. Right? It's absolutely absurd. I mean, I focus on that. I mean, it's not like I'm monetized and got all these subscribers. You're gonna hear this over and over. I'm gonna find a way to talk about it because it's huge. Jaime Munguia is someone who ignores his title fight, and now he's in talks with Canelo. He's one of the options for Canelo. It's ridiculous. And in lieu of what's going on in boxing, period, we've all been talking about what's going on with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, right? With those gloves. All the brothers talking about it. It is what it is. My last video was about it. It's absurd. We acting like we not see the gloves and everything. What's gonna happen, man? So I told you, boxing's gonna be a problem. Boxing's gonna get banned. It's gonna get banned, and the reason why people don't care about those gloves, it's the same thing as the senators who didn't care about what Donald Trump did. And I told you in the last video, because they involved. It's not just Tyson Fury and his team. More people knew about it. And if the truth came out, more people would know, because there's no way. Press always wants to get the scoop. Who gets the scoop first? And let me bring out the scoop. No one cares about the scoop, right? No one cares about the left glove. No one cares about the right glove. And matter of fact, this is damn near attempted murder. Right? It's just absolutely absurd. And it's not like some small guy, like I keep saying. It's the biggest guy in boxing, a huge guy, and we're okay with him cheating to the point where we're not going to mention it at all. Left glove, ridiculous, flopping all over, fist at the bottom. Right glove, the padding's all just, and it's just proven. Everybody's showing you pictures of it, right? Now, I don't, and everybody act like all the mainstream media, they don't have family members. Like, you don't know this information because you don't want it to just go by and just, we weren't going to say nothing about it, right? And that's the same thing what keeps going on. Like, you have Demetrius Andrade, and no one is going to talk to him on TV. No one talks to Charlo on TV. You don't hear about these guys. It's like Bigfoot. Like, they barely exist. You've seen them, but no, you didn't see them. They're there, but not really there, right? And they're right in the same division and have been for the longest. Now, Canelo's talking about them maybe fighting at 168. Now, here's the deal: what Canelo can do? We know he can make his own weight. He was in 155 for 3 or 4 fights. 155 is not a weight. There's 154 and 160. He was able to do that. And instead of being outraged about it, people called the weight Canelo weight. Embraced it. So now Canelo is thinking of fighting 168, but not one of the good 168 pounders. Like, let me bring up someone from 160, right? Normally, people, Canelo fans will probably say, well, that excludes Demetrius Andrade. That excludes Charlo. But it doesn't, because Demetrius Andrade said, I'll go wherever you go. And Demetrius Andrade has also said, I'll go to 168 to beat Joe Sanders, who I was supposed to fight at 160, and he was doped. Now he can't make 160 anymore. I'll go up to 168 and beat him up. Everyone knows that. That's general information for everyone. Uh, Charlo, on the other hand, has also stated, hey, I'm going to 168. I can't get a fight down here. I'll go to 168 and fight Benavidez, the best 168 pounder. Not somebody, a regular champion, Roy Fielding or anything like that. We're talking the baddest one, Benavidez. Most people think he's the baddest one. That's the one Jamal Charlo's thinking about going up to fight. So he does not have a problem go up to 168. So, but who Canelo would fight at 168 would probably be somebody like Moriarty Murata, right? Or Jaime Munguia, who just came up to 160, right? Just got there. Don't want to fight the champion and his sanctioned body, which is, guys, unprecedented. So if you don't see Demetrius Andrade on TV, Jamal Charlo on TV, we're talking about Canelo fighting on in September because it's important. But we saw how important it was last year when everything was there. It was all lined up. You had an opponent that would do anything you do, just like Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather. That fight they fought. Floyd Mayweather agreed to everything Oscar De La Hoya wanted, right, and beat him. Pacquiao fought Oscar De La Hoya way weight drained or whatever and got more props. It's just absolutely time to get rid of this inferiority complex and start giving these brothers the props they deserve, the acknowledgement that they deserve. And it's just basically you have to find out about these brothers in the internet somewhere. There's no way a first take, let me just say it, or undisputed, you can just invite the guy, Demetrius, just invite him and explain to them, if you're so into boxing, especially Max Kellerman, you know this, explain to them who this guy is and what he's been doing. He's been a champion all this time. Explain to them that the whole general public, this guy has been there the whole time. And all we keep saying is, who has he fought? Same thing with Charlo. Who have they fought? And they fought interims and mandatories, eliminators, whatever. They fought it all. They fought it all. Now we can't get any unification, no acknowledgement. Nobody will call them to put them on TV so people can see them, hear them talk, hear them tell their story, and you tell their story for them. Because like I'm saying with Demetrius Andrade, I think it's unprecedented that a mandatory of that stature, a Jaime Munguia, who's supposed to be bad, 35 and over 28 knockouts, does not want to fight the title holder. And he's the mandatory. Over there trying to fight anybody else, Canelo, Johnny Golovkin, but not Demetrius Andrade. And that's not stated. That's not Demetrius Andrade gets no points for that in the world rankings. None. The pound for pound. None. Act like that doesn't happen. And the other champions don't want to fight him no matter what. But does he get any points, acknowledgement for the pound for pound? No, he doesn't. And it's absolutely ridiculous. So yes, Canelo's trying to fight on September 16th. Let us all check out and see who it will be. It won't be Demetrius Andrade. It won't be Jamal Charlo. Just like it never has been. Doma Sports Talk worldwide. And I'm about here, y'all.